Welcome, my friends. Jon Weberg here with the Jon Weberg Show. We are on episode 4, I believe. It's been a little while. I've been busy with business. I've been busy with working out, make sure I take care of the other things in my life. And now, though, however, I want to make sure that I get back to this task, making sure I do as many podcasts as I possibly can to kind of share with the world, expand business, expand my personal life, and just kind of to expand out my exposure to the world. And today we have a very interesting topic. This is going a little bit different than what I expected because I think I'm going to branch out what I talk about when I do these podcasts. I want to cover more things, like politics. I want to cover more things with mindset. Of course, I want to cover more things with health and fitness. I want to branch out to basically anything and everything that's important and critical to your life. By the way, if you have not bought my book 19 has just been released. About almost a month or two now ago. So make sure if you did not grab a copy, you can go ahead. You can go to Amazon, look up Jon Weberg, and by doing so, look up Jon Weberg on Amazon. You can find my book 19. Order a copy. Order 5 or 10. 1 for you, 5 for your friends, 10 for your family, whatever you feel like. Now, the topic today that I want to get to. Sorry for the rigmarole beforehand, but the topic I want to talk about, it's kind of controversial. It's something that will probably be in this upcoming election. It's a political topic, you could say. Kind of a moral one as well, and just something that a lot of people have a lot of opinions about. And I feel like a lot of people aren't educated on to make it an educated opinion about it, including even myself possibly. But what I've done is I've gone and I've researched this topic. I've not very, very extensively, but to a certain extent to where I found some certain statistics, as well I've used some morals and stuff to decide whether or not which side of the end I'm on for this topic. And the topic is whether or not we should have free college in the United States, or I guess really anywhere in the world as well. Not just that, but whether or not we should have free college, but also should we pay off everyone's student debt currently that they have. So let us begin with the side that I'm actually not currently on because of what I found out, because of what I've decided on, and because of the statistics I've looked up and found. But this is a side that says that we should have free college, or that we should pay off college debts. Now, there's a lot of good reasons for it. I completely agree with that. There are a lot of good reasons. One of which being that it will allow people believe that it'll allow more people to go to college, because without money, monetary finances and stuff being a barrier, they believe that more people would go to college. As well, one of the big things is that not just more people will go to college, but more people will actually, this is what they believe on this side kind of the spectrum usually, is that not just more people will go to college, but more people will succeed with college. More people will actually get their degree, whether it's a 2-year or a 4-year or an 8-year degree. And the reasoning behind this is because, again, the finances are in trouble. Maybe they'll have more time to study, they'll have more time to focus on the things they're doing, and so on and so forth. And that makes complete sense. I would see why that would be something that you'd want to commit to. As well, one of the big reasons is this is actually one that one of my friends has brought up, that the more people you have graduating college, you would assume and think that you have more people who are more educated coming into society, contributing to society, contributing financially, contributing mindset-wise, and contributing in a wide plethora of ways to the economy, to society, which would then increase, it would increase the amount of money going into the world, increase the amount of money going into even local governments and so forth, and it would add to the world by more people succeeding and going to college, which is again something I could agree upon with, and that would make sense if you don't consider the rest of the things I'm about to cover. Because again, I get where people are coming from, because there are a lot of people who A, don't have the money to go to college, or that B, can just barely scrape by while going to college, but they're going to be working so much to get by. And I understand and I get why that's frustrating. I came from a very poor background, and I get what that's like. And it sucks for people to have to go through that. And a lot of other things that have to do with it too. It's a struggle. It's a struggle monetarily to try to go to college, because I do agree. I do think that colleges are way too expensive. I think that, well, I guess I'll cover this, my final take, at the end. But now I guess I'll talk about my side. So, like I said, we covered, there's a couple big reasons that people want free college. A, so more people can go. B, so more of a variety of people can go from different backgrounds. C, so more percentage of those people who are going will succeed more and graduate, actually. And also as well to contribute more to society and contribute to the world, which are all valid, good reasons. Now, however, what I've done is I've looked at statistics on the contrary to these claims, because, people claim that, okay, if you have free college, more people will graduate. Well, if you look at the graduation rate with people with a 4-year degree between the ages of 25 and 64, you take a look at a place that has free college, like Norway. Norway has free college. A lot of European countries are starting to do free college, or have for years now. So if there's a statistic for Norway versus the United States of nations with the highest percentage of population aged 25 to 64 with a 4-year degree, and the first one is Norway at 35%. And you're going to be surprised, even though with all the other countries with free college, the second one is the United States with 32%. Now I want you to think about, that's only a 3% difference. That's not a huge difference. A 3% difference of people graduating with a 4-year degree. So that kind of debunks one of the theories that if you have free college, more people will graduate. Because United States does not have free college, and it is the second highest. I mean, maybe it would increase, but I doubt it, because if you think about all the other countries that have free college that the United States is ahead of, there's a lot, but it's only 3%. It's almost the top highest percentage of people who are between the ages of 25 and 64 with a 4-year degree, even though we do not have paid college, even though we actually have also expensive college, and supposedly our system is bad and rigged and all these different things. We have one of the highest population rate between 25 and 64 with a 4-year degree. As well, something very, very interesting, which the United States is actually first in. The United States is first in this, actually, at least from what I saw in this research, was that there's another statistic of people from high school going to college. Because, again, one of the arguments that gave you for why there should be free college is because people believe that people who are going from high school to college, if there's free college, more of them will go. But what's really interesting, if you look at statistics, in the United States, it's number one, 68% of our population goes from high school to college. Norway, only 62% of people go from high school to college. Now, that also means all the other remaining European countries or other countries that have free college. Why is the United States, if having free college is going to bring people to go to college, from high school to college, if free college is going to do that, then why is the United States without free college ahead of all the other countries with free college? So you can't really say that free college is going to do either of those two things. It's not going to bring in more people from high school to college, and it's not going to have a higher graduation, it could possibly, I can't say it wouldn't for sure, but it could. So far, it has very little impact between people graduating and not graduating. And I looked at other statistics, which I don't actually have the numbers on. I saw that the percentages of people graduating is not based upon money. It is not based upon finances. It is based upon, actually, which is surprising, but there's a lot of different background to the statistic and to the reasons. But it's because of the percentage of people graduating is because of the people's parents, and basically kind of almost what they're top of the people's parents, and whether or not they graduated college or whether they just went to high school, whatever the case was for them. So the more people that had parents that graduated college, the higher percentage of them that would go to college as well. So again, that could be with mindset, that could be possibly with money, but as we already discovered, with free college actually has a decrease from high school to college going rate. So that's another thing that you really have to pay attention to, is it's not the underlying issue. Money is actually most likely, from these statistics and other ones, is not the underlying issue, which is what everyone thinks. As well, from what I looked up, Asian countries, let me just double check on this. Asian countries. free college. So I just want to double check because I couldn't find it, and I want to be accurate here on whether or not most Asian countries have free college. And from what I found that most Asian countries do not have free college. It's mostly, Sweden, Germany, Slovenia, France, a lot of European countries. So I'm just going to do a double take here to make sure, I don't want to spit anything that isn't true. So, from what I've found, blah, 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 China. I'm just looking here, reading it. It's a double take on whether or not they offer free college or not. I mean, they have, the Asian countries have, what I was going to talk about, the reason why I'm talking about these Asian countries is because they have the highest scores in math and English and all these different things. They have the highest scores, not English, but in language. They have the highest scores in competency in testing than all the other countries, and they don't offer free college. So you also, some people argue, well, if you have free college, more people would do better. Well, all the Asian countries would score the highest, including the United States, which is very close to the European countries, which it is slightly lower. I'll admit that the United States is a little bit lower in the score, how high their scores are. But the Asian countries have even higher scores than all the European countries, and they don't have free college. So it's kind of a multi. I think the main issue is it's a multivariable, a huge multivariable issue that you can't just say if you do give free college, it's going to work. If you give people free college, you pay off their debts, it's going to make everything better. Actually, this is more of talking about free college, not people's debts, which I'll get to. But it's just saying that if you look at the statistics I've already talked about, more people go to paid college than go to free college, a higher percentage. The United States, from what I found, was number one. It was ahead of Norway, which has had free college for how long? It also doesn't affect the people who graduate, so it doesn't have to do with money. So before I get to what I think should happen with education, what I think is the issue, I also want to talk about kind of the morals behind it. And one of them is one of my arguments is that I don't think it's okay to spend other people's money, because free college isn't free. For those of you who don't know, free college is not free. What free college does is it raises the taxes for everyone in the entire country, even if they don't go to college. So for the other 30 to 40% of people who don't go to college, they also have to pay for your college, even if they don't go. Which, A, I don't think that's right, because B, going to college is not a human right. It's not something like roads or something that should be paid for by everyone, as the normal taxes take care of. It is a choice. So, if, for example, if I go to business, like I'm in a business, I have my own business, I can't go to the government and ask for $50,000 or $100,000 or $20,000, or I can't get a free $50,000 for my business. And I also can't make other people pay for whatever I want for my business. I can't make other people pay for my $20,000 or $50,000 for my business. Why? Because it's my personal choice to go in business. It's your personal choice to go to college. I didn't go to college, and I'm doing fairly well. So going to college is a choice, just as just working a normal job is, or going into politics is, or starting a business is. It's a personal choice, not something that other people should have to pay for because you want to go. Because I'm in business, people shouldn't have to pay for my business. Doesn't that make sense? Other people shouldn't have to pay for your decisions. And also one of the big issues was, even if we were okay with other people paying for other people's stuff, which it also wouldn't be fair even if you were to do that, because some people go to college for more expensive things. So who says who gets more money? And why wouldn't someone who went to college for less years get the remaining money that other people get for going for more years? There's so much that goes into it. It's such a complicated issue. But even more of a reason of why there shouldn't be free college, I don't believe. Other than it being a personal choice, other than the statistics show it doesn't change anything, it actually could make things worse, is the fact that between around 60 to 70% of people who go to college don't graduate. between 60 to 70% don't graduate. So, that means literally 60 to 70% of all of the money, all the people who don't even go to college, have no interest in college, never will, or even the people who do, 60 to 70% of all of that money would be wasted. So that'd be like if someone got a loan for business, or I guess for either college too, and it was $100,000 that needed to be raised for the business or for the college. And 70% of that, so $70,000, was thrown in the trash, was burned. So not just does it have no statistical difference, if not a worse one, if you have free college, it also would waste 70% of all of the money spent on it. Even the free colleges in Norway, Germany, Sweden, and all these places have an issue with dropouts, have issues with people failing. Because again, what they found is that it's not money, which is what I'm going to get to, my ending conclusion to what I think should change. I do think college is too expensive. I do think there are some things right with why people want free college. I get that, which I'm going to get to. But having it free doesn't change anything. There's a reason why. That is. But real quickly, I also actually want to argue that for most people, paying off college is not going to be, because there's this huge debacle that paying off college is going to take a lifetime, or it's going to take 30 or 40 years, which I completely disagree with. Because if you think about it, say if you go to college to be a lawyer, say after you go to college, maybe you're $50,000 to $100,000 in debt for going to lawyer school, and you now say make between like $70,000 and $100,000. Let's go with $100,000 to make it a round, easy to work with number. So at $100,000, you would take home, you get rid of taxes, around probably around $60,000 a year take home after taxes. So with $60,000, say you have $100,000 in debt. If you were to take away that $60,000, if you were to take away $5,000 of that every year, you would pay off your student debt in around 20 years. If I think I did that right, in 20 years. If it was $100,000 in debt. But let me look up a quick thing. So it says it's around $37,000 to $100,000. So say if you were going to pay it off $5,000 at a time, it would take you 20 years, which is a long time, but you would pay it off. But say if you were to take off $10,000, so say if you're taking home $60,000, which you get rid of $10,000 a year, pay it off in 10 years, that means you'd have $50,000 left. And $50,000 is something that is very livable for someone. Again, I'm talking about like a single person home, $50,000. Or I'm also talking about if it was two people, maybe with one kid or no kids. $50,000 a year is a good income. You can do a lot with $50,000 a year. You are high above. If you're making $50,000 a year, you are in the top 10% or 5% of. You're probably in the top, I believe, 20 to 15% of people, income-wise. It may be a little bit below, maybe it's top 30 or 20%. And then also, if you think about historically income-wise, you were in the top probably 5%. I'm talking about in the past, 1,000 years. You're in the, obviously, things have changed, obviously the past 1,000 years. But even in the past 500 years or a couple hundred, even the past 100 or 200 years, you were making very well a good amount of money that you can more than survive on, definitely more than survive on. If the poverty rate is around $18,000, which I believe it's around, you're making $50,000, that's more than 3 times that. So you have enough money to more than survive, to thrive, probably could go on vacation, yada yada. You're making enough to pay off your debt and also I forgot overtime. Imagine if over time, say you're making $100,000 as a year as a lawyer, you should get better as a lawyer, as you should with any business, and make eventually by your 5th year or 10th year, should go up to $120,000 or $130,000 or $140,000 or so on. So that's my argument versus, it's, which I do agree it's too expensive. I do think, don't get me wrong, I do think it is too expensive. I do think, The book should cost way less. The cost of going should be way less, and so on. But I do think it is capable of being paid off, very much so. And again, it also depends on what I'm about to get to, which is my last kind of point, is that I don't think, because this is a big multi-variable issue that has a lot of different things that go into it. It has people's backgrounds. It has people's work ethic. It has their financials. It has there is some government aid in the U.S. for going to free college. There's all these different things that work into why people do graduate, why people don't graduate, why only certain people graduate, and so on. So what I've found and what my belief is, because I do think that college is too expensive. I do think that there needs to be, definitely books need to be a lot cheaper, and all these different things. But I think no matter what the cost is, no matter what you debate or debacle whether free college will change it or not, because obviously, again, if you look at free college, you see that there's no statistical difference between people graduating or going. So what is the issue? Because again, if you do free college, you also raise taxes by a good chunk. And you think about it over your lifetime, you're probably going to pay for that in taxes, what you would anyways pay for the college. So what is the issue? What is the underlying issue? Free college and paid college, United States versus all the other European countries. If there is no difference between the numbers that I've discussed, what is the actual issue? And I think it lies in what I've always preached and what I've preached in the past, in my webinars, in my podcasts, and in everything I do in life. I believe it lies in the individual. I believe it lies in the individual level completely. Because only the individual, whether or not it's free, there are people who have had little to no money who have been able to work it off and work their asses off and become, again, it's going to be a struggle. That's not the point. But they have done it. They've gone to college. They've ended up graduating with a very good degree and ended up having very great jobs, whether or not it was free or not. And there are some people who have all the money handed to them, who have it paid for, who don't do little to anything, and then they end up failing or they end up dropping out. Or there's so many different cases of where all these numbers contradict each other. So what I think it is it lies in the individual and focusing on the individual and educating the individual on how to spend money, on how to be a better person, on how to work harder, on how to manage their funds, and how to do all of these different things. They're, I think, even more important than college. Teaching people how to spend money properly. Teaching people how to save money properly. Teaching people how to invest money properly. Teaching people how to work harder. Teaching people how to invest more of their time and stop wasting as much of their time. Stop wasting as much of their lives. Stop wasting the hours and hours and hours of their life they spend on shit they don't care about. On things that they won't even pay attention to a month later, or months later, or whatever. There's so much that we are capable of, and there's so much that we have potential for, yet there's so much we waste, including myself, that we should be spending on, say people who are going to college. Why is the dropout rate so high? If money isn't the issue, why is it so high? So if it's not money, and people are graduating, meaning the graduating system isn't broken, that means that it's the only option left is the individual. So it's in teaching the individual to invest in their future. It's about teaching the individuals the mindset and things they need to learn to grow as a person, as a human. I think that is going to increase the amount of people who are going, and I'm talking about in high school, in college, in life, wherever the person is at. Teaching more of the values and of the qualities that are of people who are industrious and who are producing results and all these different things, and focusing on spreading that to as many people as possible. I believe that will increase the amount of people going to college. I think that will increase the amount of people succeeding with college and actually graduating and sticking. And I think that will have a much bigger impact than actually free college would. Because as I've already discussed, free college so far doesn't increase people going, doesn't increase people graduating, or if it does, it's not to a significant statistical degree. And is 60 to 70% of the funds of people going to free college is wasted? What if that 60 to 70% of money spent on free college was spent investing in students? Spent investing in their mindset, in developing a program for developing their mindset on their personal life, on investing, on saving, and all these different things I've already discussed. Because if you have people who are educated more mindset-wise, more on how they should spend their money, how they should spend their time, how they should spend their energy, on even life in general, on developing their focus, on developing their interest, and all these different things, I think you'd find people to be higher quality and are higher, not educated in the terms of college, but educated in the terms of personal development wise. I think that would increase scores. I think that would increase people graduating. I think that would increase so many different statistics, and it would help so much in contributing to the economy and to society. I think that would help a lot, and I also think that we should somehow find a way to decrease the cost of going to college, because the education that's being given has not drastically increased. It's from what I've researched and what I found, it's not like college is becoming $10,000 better, the same degree that people got a year ago. It's not becoming $10,000 better the next year. And there's no huge difference. So I think they should decrease the cost of college in some way or another, to some extent. It should be free, because again, it's a personal choice. I don't think you should take other people's money. I don't think you should waste other people's money. It's a personal choice. It's like going to business or having a job is, or doing so many other different things is, or going to a trade. I think it's a personal choice. It doesn't have to impact in the first place. There has to be, I think, like I already said, more focus on the individual, more focus on the mindset of the individual. And whether it's taught in school, in high school, whether it's taught later on in life, whether that's I'm not sure. I haven't quite thought about that more thoroughly. But there should be more focus on the individual and creating a good mindset in the individual, on their focus, and then on how they spend their money. Because I know a lot of kids my age who are going to college right now, and I know tons that are not graduating. I know tons that don't give a shit. I know tons that are literally wasting away their lives, and wasting away their money, or at least not their entire lives, but they're wasting away years and years of their time and energy on something they don't give a shit about. And for a lot of people, there's a good percentage of people too who don't even end up continuing being in the college or the profession they're going in, end up doing something else anyways. I think a lot of them, it's because they're lost. I think a lot of it is because their mindset. I think a lot of the people who go to college, no matter where they're at in life, they're not graduating, they're not succeeding, or they're dropping out, is because their mindset, what they're focused on, what their passion is, and all these different things aren't aligned. They haven't figured themselves out yet. So I think there's a lot more that can be done on the individual level. I think, again, college should be a little bit less expensive. I'm not sure how that would be done. I think there should be the book should be cheaper. I think, again, we should focus on the individual, because what you need to do is whatever problem you're looking at, you need to find the cause root of the issue. Because again, if money's not the issue, if all these other things are the issue, it lies then in the individual, and parts of the individual that need to be improved upon or helped with in some way or another. So I want to know your thoughts. If you're listening to this, I want you to comment, whether it's on Facebook, or I want you to text me, Facebook message me, comment, whatever the case may be, post about it. Your questions, your concerns, your if you're mad, if you agree, if you don't agree, whatever your thoughts are. Because, again, this is a complex issue, which there are a lot of different ways to look at it. I think that there are a lot of good opinions that I don't have. There's a lot of good information that I don't have. But I also think that I made a good point, in that it needs to lie in total personal responsibility for making sure people are successful if they do go to college. I'm not sure if I should or was going to talk about... I guess I will quickly. Get a drink of water. I don't think also that we should pay off people's debts, student debts, because, of course, that student debt was based upon their past decision to go to college. If I spend $50,000 on business on a loan or something, I can't get that money back. I can't have someone pay that off, and I shouldn't have someone pay that off because it was my decision to start my business. It was my decision. I didn't have to start a business. I could have just worked a job, or I could have gone to college. Or I could have gone into a trade, something with trade. So I don't think that people should have their college debts paid off. I think that you should pay your own debt. You shouldn't force it upon other people, because what the money would come from, it would come from other people. I don't think it's right to take money from other people, unless, obviously the current taxes for roads and for things of such that are actual things that everyone needs. Because everyone doesn't need college. Everyone doesn't need business. Everyone doesn't need the basic job or job. Some people go do different things. I think paying off other people's debt is a terrible thing, because what that would do is if you if you spend other people's money, what you're doing is you're putting them in debt. So you should pay off either your own debt, or you force other people to go in debt paying off your debt. So I think it's much better idea to pay off your own debt. Again, I understand that it's hard. The expense is huge. Sometimes it can be, for different situations, different people, different circumstances, it can be very difficult to pay off debt. But I think that needs to be a focus on, again, the individual, teaching people how to spend money, people's personal responsibility for how they're spending money, how they're saving, how they're investing, and what they're focusing their time and energy on. I completely think that's way more impactful for their lives, and way more impactful on how they're going to succeed in anything they do. So in the closing caption, again, I'd appreciate any comments, I'd appreciate your input, I'd appreciate any and all thoughts, because this is, again, a very complex issue that there's not one single simple, I think, answer for. But I love discussion. I love trying to figure out whether or not certain parts of the ideas that are in the political spectrum or in other areas are things that we should go for, things that we should strive towards. This is one of them, that I think free college and paying off other people's debt is not a good idea. It wouldn't help it certainly would not help the economy. It certainly would, again, hurt a lot of people who, again, think about all the people who are struggling on their last, which is, I think, too much of the United States population. There are a lot of people who are living paycheck to paycheck. It's a huge percentage. So imagine if you have all these people right now who are going paycheck to paycheck, and again, I think it's because of their own personal choices the majority of the time. But imagine now you increase taxes by another 5 or 10%, or possibly even higher. What would that do to all those people? So again, this is an issue that needs to be a lot more thought on. You have to go to the root of the problem. And usually, about 95% of the time, the root of any and all problems in society, in college, in graduation rates, in business, and all these different things, it all comes down to the person and their individual choices, their individual responsibilities that they have or have not taken, which is why I wrote my book 19, to cover those things. So my friend, I want to thank you for watching. I hope you have an absolutely incredible day. I hope you enjoyed listening to us. Go ahead, follow, subscribe, like, comment, hit the notification bell, whatever you got to do to follow this. And be ready for the upcoming episodes. Be ready for more information coming to you. I'm going to do more podcasts more often because it kind of gets my thoughts out. It lets me express myself. I think it's a good thing for people to think about and debate. So have an amazing day. I'll talk to you soon. And make sure you grab a book, 19, on Amazon, and be ready for the next episode of The Jon Weberg Show.